Fruman months before they became involved with Rudy Giuliani in the campaign to recall Ukraine Ambassador Marie Yovanovitch. Now the president said he doesn't know the two men, something the parties contradicted on this show, and he discussed details of this encounter. Now the recording released today, while a bit shaky, clearly shows the president entering a room. On the tape, which we'll play in a moment, you hear his voice and that of Parnas, Fruman, and about a dozen others, mostly fundraisers. Much of the approximately 80-minute tape involves discussions about a variety of topics, including North Korea and the upcoming congressional elections. But during a conversation about energy policy and Vladimir Putin, Parnas mentions Ukraine. It's at that point they discuss Ambassador Yovanovitch.
The biggest problem there, I think, where we need to start is we got to get rid of the ambassador. She's still left over from the Trump administration.
Or the ambassador of Ukraine?
Yeah, and she's basically walking around telling everybody, wait, he's going to get impeached, just wait. I mean,
That's incredible.
So one of the things that will be, now that we have our Secretary of State,
Get rid of her.
right?
Get her out. Okay, get her out. Take her out, okay? Do it.
Just before I spoke with Parnas' attorney, Joseph Bond. I want to ask you about some of the stuff that's on these recordings. At one point, the president asked Lev Parnas about the former president of Ukraine, Petro Poroshenko. I just want to play this.
Do they feel that it'll be okay?
yeah, so they're going to be okay if you support them. Yeah,
What about Russia?
Poroshenko is a good guy. He wants the right thing for everyone.
There's always us that has to support
Well,
everybody.
there's problems with corruption.
Why isn't it Germany supporting?
It's interesting, though. I think it's Lev Parnas who says that the biggest problem is corruption. The president kind of brushes by that and seems to focus more on, Germany not doing more, which sort of runs counter to what his reporters say, which is he was very concerned about corruption, number one.
I think that snippet is consistent with what the president has said for a long time, which is that other countries don't pull their weight, and the United States is paying a lot of money, whether it's South Korea or Germany.
Do you know the reason why Igor Fruman made these recordings?
I don't know why he made the recordings. Some people make recordings, they like to take pictures. I can't ascribe any kind of motive beyond that.
But he sent recordings to Lev Parnas?
Yes.
Do you know, are there more recordings that Lev Parnas has?
Yes.
With the president?
Yes.
Or do you plan to release those?
Perhaps we've sent recordings to the House Intelligence Committee also. This seems to be the recording that certainly addresses the issue of the ambassador, and we thought it was really important to get that recording out in public today.
To you, what is the significance of these recordings?
I think there's a few aspects that are important. First off, we hear the president himself saying, get rid of the ambassador, fire her, get her out of there. And this is one of the first occasions in which he attempts to remove the ambassador. Lev Parnas, as he has explained it to me, was shocked that he might raise the subject of the ambassador and have the chief executive say, get rid of her and fire her. He could never possibly have expected that the president would literally take that step.
It's also true because Lev Parnas, in the interview, in the talk that we had, he was saying he actually didn't really know anything about the ambassador.
Right.
He had just been told and kind of revved up by other people who were saying, oh, she's bad-mouthing the president. And he conveyed that message in this recording, just as he said he did, to President Trump. And that's when President Trump said, take her out.
Yeah, I think there's even a snippet of the recording where Lev indicates he doesn't even know her name.
In this one, it's the president's talking about the threat on the ground, and we'll just listen.
How long have they lasted a fight with Russia?
Not very long. Not very long.
How do you feel about it rolling into this?
They're actually very much appreciate everything they're doing.
Did it seem clear to you that the president had a deep knowledge of Ukraine? Do you think he was just making conversation with people he's stuck at a dinner with?
I wonder. I like to believe he's been briefed on Ukraine by his advisors. I like to think he has some understanding of Ukraine. But what this aspect of the tape shows us is that it was already on his mind that Ukraine was vulnerable without military aid from the United States. But then you have to remember that at some point beginning 2019, Lev delivers to Poroshenko a quid pro quo. You won't get a White House visit unless you announce an anti-corruption campaign with the Bidens.
fascinating to me. I've been thinking a lot about what Parnas said, that the fact that he was the guy, and Igor Fruman, according to the left parties, were the people on the ground in Ukraine, and they would literally go to a meeting with the former president, with the man who would ultimately is now heading the intelligence services in Ukraine under Zelensky, and hold up a phone, and Rudy Giuliani would be on speakerphone saying, listen to these guys, they represent us, they represent the president, they represent me, listen to what they have to say, what they're going to tell you.
It's not conventional. You wouldn't expect diplomacy to be conducted that way. I can kind of wonder if there's some reason to have